Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dying time is here. That's right. We're talking about Malignant on Kill by Kill. Well, greetings and salutations, Internet. It is your old pal, Patrick Hamilton, coming to you once again from the Pacific Northwest. This is the Kill by Kill podcast, where we're dedicated to celebrating the least discussed component of any horror film, the characters, in the hopes that a drunk tank's overnight dweller's untimely end is just the beginning of the jokes we might make at their expense. And as always, there's only one person I trust to make sure I come out of that drunk tank alive. Good luck. The one, the only, Gina Radcliffe. How are you doing today, Gina?
Yeah, we're just going to have to climb over just piles of bodies here.
It is. I mean, this year, we've covered some movies where the amount of death is literally, I'd say, a third of my note-taking duties.
Here it's just like a scroll.
Right. This really makes up for stuff like A Nightmare on Elm Street, where like two people would kick it in a movie. And now this one is, I swear to God, at least 30 deep. It's crazy.
I did do a quick browsing of a kill list, and somebody guesstimated about 46.
I don't doubt it. Because there's a lot of people that you see him like throw that knife thing or just like stab in the dark, or their body just flies. And you don't really, yeah, that person's probably dead, but I don't know the exact reason. It's a lot of stabbing.
You're just going to have to, like, if you do a Choose Your Own Deathventure, you're just going to have to like rattle it up like an auctioneer. Stab and slash, stab and slash, stab and slash, stab and slash, stab and slash. We got to stab and slash.
Yeah, there's a couple that are unique that really stand out, but it's not the variation that we got from Hard Eyes, let's say, which really ran the gamut.
Yes, nobody gets killed in a grape crusher in this.
No one does get killed in a grape crusher. We need more people crushed, a la Hello, Mary Lou Prom Night 2. That's just what we need as a fucking society right now. Now, I don't want to scare you, Gina, but we are not alone. That's right. We have a special guest. Now, you may know her as a queer Brooklyn-based screenwriter, actor, and producer whose feature film, the psychosexual thriller Perfectly Good Moment, is now streaming for free on Tubi. She also co-hosts a film podcast called Don't Be Crazy. She is the one. She is the only Amanda Jane Stern. How are you doing today, Amanda?
I'm doing well. I think I counted 42 deaths.
Sure. I believe you.
That's the number that I got, and I like it because, it's the answer to life, the universe, and everything else.
And lots of people getting their arms broken.
Yes.
Yes. There's a lot of snapping.
Yeah.
A lot of bone snapping.
Let's just say right now, if you're thinking about watching this movie, just like if you have an aversion to mouth injuries, don't watch Bring Her Back.
Right.
If you have an aversion to broken bones, do not run far from Malignant.
Yes. It's really digging into bone snapping on this particular motion picture. What's not to like? But everyone's got their something. I'm not a big fan of like home invasion things, and I can't do zombies since I had a kid. Those are the two places I just can't fucking go right now. And that might change as I age ever so gracefully.
My thing is eyes. That's
sure.
It's just eyes.
Understandable. Completely. 100%. That being said, Amanda, welcome to the show. I usually ask all of our guests, even if they don't appear on the program, I just walk up to people on the street and I say, when was the first time you watched 2021's Malignant?
During the pandemic.
Sure.
Like probably everybody else who watched it around when it came out. I watched it on HBO Max or whatever they were calling themselves
right
at that time. Maybe it was Max. I don't know.
I don't remember either.
Yeah. So a few
years ago. And I was paid to work on its transition twice.
Wait,
so,
what? Oh,
yeah.
no.
Listen, the promo game is weird. When someone comes with a check, I just have to kind of say yes. So yeah, I worked on it when it changed into HBO Max, and I worked on it when they just changed it into Max. And both times my question was fucking why? But no one wanted to listen to me.
For all I know, it was HBO Go when I watched it. I don't know. That one, remember that one?
I do.
Yeah.
Go now, Max.
So
it's been everything.
I must have seen it in like, I guess 22, 23 on whatever HBO was calling itself.
Yeah. It had a weird rollout, and Gina and my stories are pretty much the same, because let's all cast our mind back to the spring of 2021. I was supposed to be writing copy for some godforsaken fucking TV show, and I pushed really hard in the morning to just get as much of it done as I possibly could, which is rare for me because I love to slack off any responsibility. But this time I magically hadn't. So it came around to the afternoon and ding goes my notification on my laptop that Gina is watching Malignant. And I'm like, this is fucking kismet. We never get to watch anything together because I'm all the way on the West Coast. Gina is all the way in Brooklyn. When do we ever watch anything at the same time? So I'm like 10 minutes behind her watching this thing. And all I can remember from our text back and forth was, oh God, oh no, oh wow.
It was a delightful time, a precious memory from when we were all trapped in our homes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's giving me flashbacks to doing movie watch parties with friends, which I think I did Freaky. I did a bunch of horror movies.
I did the Twilight movies with my friends group. So,
oh my God,
first time watch for me too.
And Gina, didn't you and I do a one of the worst Hellraisers of all time?
9?
We did. It was Deader. Was it Deader or Dead Space or something
9.
like that?
9.
Yeah,
it was the teen boy one.
Yes, that's 9.
Oh God, yeah, that
is the one where they had to film it in a weekend because they were going to lose the rights. And it is what I would describe if there were a browser's porn parody of Hellraiser. It's 9. It's only 72 minutes, and it is all bad. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. I am a very big Hellraiser fan.
It has a lot in common with any sort of random porn film. I don't know that people watch films anymore. That's how fucking old I am.
Yes, it does.
But at one point, they scan this dude's bedroom, and it's just a frame after frame of guys wearing soccer shorts, only shown from the waist down.
I mean, you know, that house that they filmed in has definitely seen a lot of Skinamax movies.
Oh, sure.
Sure.
And there's the almost incest plotline in that. Oh God, it's so bad.
Oh yeah, God. Yeah. I mean, in our defense, we did it as a charity thing.
Yes.
Whereas I also did a watch along with someone with a friend of the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, which we had no excuse for. We're just like, well, we should probably see what this is like.
I feel like you were trying to, remanufacture the Malignant magic that we had. And you're like, let's hop on that. This will be fun. And then you two convinced me to watch that movie, and it sucks so hard.
Well, I want it to be like a Smile situation where I wanted to pass my trauma on to you.
Oh my God.
Sure. It was like a Fatal Destination Bad Penny that you wanted to roll on down my way.
Exactly. We're all going down together, man.
We certainly are. The downhill speed just keeps picking up. So yeah, this is a bright spot in an otherwise, not particularly, wonderful time. Sure, I absolutely understood the need for me to stay at home, and quite frankly, it was a small price to pay. But the desire for connection was there, and Malignant was this wonderful thing that I do wonder. It ended up making, because at that time they had opened up movie theaters in the places you would assume would open up movie theaters. And it ended up making $35 million, which sounds like a lot, but it also was made for about 40 mil. So it didn't entirely make its money back, but they got me to watch the hell out of whatever HBO version they needed me to watch I enjoyed the hell out of it. I don't know what audiences would have thought if the conditions weren't what they were.
Yeah, I think that this is, probably somewhat of a hard sell for people, but I do think it is definitely one of those movies where you people either love it or they hate it.
Yes.
It's one of those things also that has a big genre tonal shift, and I like that. I'm a fan of that. Gina, I know you've seen my movie because I knew you're on White Ladies in Crisis.
Yes.
So clearly I am a fan of a tonal shift.
Yes.
But this is one of those things that, and I went into it knowing that there's something crazy, not knowing what, but just that there's something crazy and wanting that. But I also think a lot of people heard James Wan and they thought, okay, Saw and also The Conjuring, and this is not what they expected from him.
No, this is very self-aware. Like, yes. I think that I've said this to you before, Patrick, and I also said it because I also reviewed this movie back when I was semi-professionally writing about movies, where, I mean, the fact that the score is a take on Where Is My Mind?
Right,
and they credit it as like, it's like, yeah, they are dropping a big hint to the audience of, here's what's happening here. And when it's revealed, it's just like, feels like a huge wink. Like, this is all, they are not serious people, but in the best way possible.
Yes, I agree. And just if you're a listener, you're saying, sometimes people watch the movie, sometimes they don't. It's always, of course, the avocation here that we got from Switchblade Sisters. It's not really what happens, but how it happens that makes a movie a movie. But if you don't want to be spoiled, pause here, read down later. That's all perfectly fine. It's a high recommend, as you've heard from all three of us. But yes, in order to really talk about the movie, we got to talk about the movie. And after we had talked about, Hard Eyes and Final Destination, it's just like, I want to be able to celebrate. Like, we love talking about a miss on this podcast, but I also want to talk about the fucking home runs. And to me, this movie is an absolute home run. It is not what people might have expected, but it absolutely telegraphs what it's going to be from the minute go. It is a decidedly B-movie coded film. And the opening is reminiscent of 90s direct-to-video horror schlock that I have a giant soft spot for. Stuff like Carnosaur and Nightwish and Mikey. And of course, one premier 80s exploitation classic, Basket Case. Malignant is not pretending to be high art. Rather, it is decidedly effective art. And I believe it succeeds along those lines.
Well, I assumed that you selected this because it also is reminiscent of The Dark Half.
Oh, yes, absolutely. This is very Stephen King coded in a lot of different ways. It's just presented in a very un-Stephen King-like manner because it's in combination of what I just mentioned of direct to video horror. It's also a secret giallo with a black-gloved killer and a woman whose visions compel her to investigate the crimes and find the truth. Little does she know, the truth is the back of her fucking head.
That she's never felt that she has this, like.
I feel connected to these crimes. The crimes are connected to you. The call is coming from inside your head, baby girl.
Well, I just like that every time her head starts bleeding, she doesn't go to the hospital immediately.
It's like, woman, have you been cutting your own hair all these years? Like, how have you gotten to like age like 27 or 30 at the most and like have not noticed that you have this conjoined twin in the back here?
And it makes you wonder, like, was part of the bouillabaisse of this that scene from I Know Who Killed Me or whatever that Lindsay Lohan,
that's the name, you got it,
disaster piece is, and that it has a scene in it I will never fucking forget because she's going home on the bus from her bleed-tacular shift at the strip club. And the person next door on the bus is like, oh, you're bleeding? Sometimes people bleed. On the bus? What the fucking town is this in? What is happening here? Get this woman some fucking support. And it just becomes a very, but that movie, I'm not entirely sure understands the tone that it's attempting to deliver. It's unintentional camp, whereas Here, I believe there's a decidedly intentional camp factor going into this film.
Oh yeah, I mean you've got the big reveal. Well, I mean let's call it a little reveal. The big reveal is that she has a conjoined twin in the back of her head. but you know, when she reveals a smaller reveal to her sister, like you've got the zoom into the sister's face, and that's just I love it so much.
Yeah, this movie is fully in on the joke. It's winking at the camera. Whereas you're right. I think I Know Who Killed Me was trying to really be like neo-noir-esque.
Yeah. And there's also a skill level that Wan brings to this that whomever, got the I Know Who Killed Me assignment just was unable to achieve for whatever amount of money they gave them. And while people might have assumed that, I'm going to get an Insidious, I'm going to get a Conjuring. I'm not entirely sure that people directly view Wan as the creator of Saw as much anymore. I think people of a millennial age do, but I don't think younger horror fans do necessarily, because he's been out of that game for so long. But so few people have spawned, let's count them, 1, 2, 3 entire franchises out of their own brain, and then arguably delivered 2 of the best editions of other franchises. There are many who will tell you that Furious 7 is the best of the Fast and Furious franchise, not to mention the fact that in Aquaman, he managed to get a performance out of a drumming octopus. even his side quests. Like, I think Death Sentence is my favorite Death Wish ripoff. It's just really good at what it does. But he brings all that skill, all of that imagination, and the way he blocks a camera, the way he decides to tell a story is very muscular. He turns your eyes in the direction he wants you to see at all times. No shot is just, let's get it. Let's put it in the can. Let's make sure we're covered. Mm-hmm. He is very determined to make you see what he wants you to see in any given scene. And it makes for a very pleasurable and fun horror movie experience.
Yeah. It looks great. There's no shot that's just park and bark coverage. Like, well, we got the over the shoulder, so now we need the other over the shoulder. Okay, let's get the wide. And
I also believe that as he includes these characters, and obviously he's working with collaborators, and we'll get to them in a second, but, he is introducing characters with a purpose. There's a reason why that sister is there. There's a reason he introduces you to the doctor first. There's a reason why he feigns in one direction and heads in another. And all of this stuff culminates in a very crystal clear vision of the horror movie he's trying to make. And I think he delivers this crazy combination of slasher and giallo while still doing all the things that sort of make the Conjuring and Insidious movies really tick. Wan understands restraint can amplify, and I'm not the world's biggest ghost guy. We have a show called Kill by Kill. So obviously I like dead bodies to show up, which is why ghost movies are never really high on our list here. But that first Insidious film is just kind of really interesting in that it wins me over by how he's able to harness an everyday home, a hallway, a bedroom, and through choreography and blocking, just mutate it into high octane suspense.
Yeah, and I would argue that The Conjuring is a genuinely scary movie.
Yes,
I think it's
agreed.
Very effective.
We kind of combined every Conjuring into one episode simply because ain't nobody dying.
Yeah, no, those are not high death counts.
They just aren't, and it doesn't negate them as movies. It just makes them a different kind of movie for Kill by Kill to cover. But at the time, both of us are very adamant that film really fucking works. Like, it is able to take characters that I'm out on in terms of their real life backstory and make you care about them. And
oh God, the Warrens, yes.
The Warrens.
a huge fan of the Conjuring movies, the entire universe franchise, no matter how bad most of the outlying movies are. But yeah, the actual Warrens, oy.
I mean, it's very rare that a pair of real life characters, their best outing in terms of who they were in real life turns out to be Amityville 3. That's the best representation of who they really were. I love like Conjuring movies are. I will give it up to them. They're great, but they're not in the truth telling business.
No, they're
which
not
is fine.
portraying Ed Wood's teenage. I don't want to say girlfriend because she was a teenager, so that's not legal. That
Right.
they kept in an apartment.
Oh God, yes, they kind of gloss over that bad boy.
Just tiptoe through the.
Maybe they'll bring it
over
up for this new one. We'll find out next month. I won't be there, but who's to say? But Wan can just do a lot with a little, and he can also make a lot with a lot. He has he uses the things that inspire him to do things in ways you would not expect. Just one point, very outside of the horror vein, but his skills have served him so well that in the Furious 7 movie, he makes a direct Bad Moon Rising reference. And I'm the only one in the theater going, Bad Moon Rising. Bad Moon Rising, everybody. And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? It was a script by John Carpenter. It's a weird movie, but it is a movie where a car jumps from one building to the other. And then he's just able to fucking do it. He's that fucking good. So I have to celebrate the guy when he has these big wins. And I know he's kind of parked up in Blumhouse right now. And if there's one micro studio in town that's having a tough time right now, it's Blumhouse. So I hope it turns out well. But he has good instincts. So I would like to think that his instincts, wherever he goes next, will prove out. Because if Malignant shows you anything, it's that he is a lot of fun to see what he puts on the screen.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, I want more horror movies to be this kind of gonzo, go for broke, just do the crazy thing.
Yes, I agree with you. I love to see someone come up to the plate and really swing for the fences. And I think that's as good when it connects with the ball and hits it out and it's a home run as it is when they miss the ball and they spin around into a cartoon tornado and they end up with their ears in a corkscrew. It all works for me. I just want to see the effort. And Wan is one of those directors who I feel more times than not, the effort pays out. And I would say the one time I'm a little iffy on him is the movie that is closest tonally to this, and that is Dead Silence.
I don't know have I seen that one? I don't know if I've seen that one.
I haven't seen that one, no.
It is, it's underseen, and I can kind of see why. It is his film right after Saw. So it's kind of like his come to the States. Here's as close to a blank check as you're ever going to get sort of movie. And as a result, it's tonally out there. But you know what? That movie and this movie sort of evoked in me. And while this won't hit the main feed, it is on our Patreon. And we just talked about it, although it'll be a month past when this airs. And that is The Frighteners.
Oh,
yeah, okay.
The Frighteners has that gonzo New Zealand energy. And
a lot of tone shifts.
Exactly.
If you like tone shifts, Amanda, you would like The Frighteners.
I love a tone shift.
Wowie, wow.
I don't want to fully relitigate The Frighteners, but the advantage that The Frighteners has is that it's every kind of movie all in one. And as a result, if you like those tones, you're going to have a wonderful ride.
Yes, I'm here for that.
And if you don't like even 2 or 3 of them, you're probably going to come out like, I don't get this. I don't get this at all.
So I'm on James Wan's IMDb because you mentioned, Dead Silence. I'm like, I haven't seen that. And I feel like I've seen a lot of his movies. And I have. That might be one of the 1 or 2 I have not seen. Did you know he also did a short called Doggy Heaven about a guy who dies and goes to dog heaven?
I do not. But very interested to find out what that is.
It's in between Death Sentence and Insidious, and you just see doggy heaven.
Good for him. He's trying things.
And of course, Lee Ranell is in it.
Yeah, I mean, that is one of the more interesting things of this that really, I think Wanell, he goes with Wan through Dead Silence. I believe they worked on that script together. And then I think maybe Dead Silence or Death Sentence, they work on together as well. But they split up after that. And they're both such interesting filmmakers in that they're always making something with intention behind it. And as wishy-washy as I was about Wolfman, what I can't say is, well, that guy didn't know what this was about before he went into it. It just didn't work for me, but I sure as hell appreciate the fact that he wanted to tell that story that way.
Right. Yeah. I mean, again, with Wolfman, not to, as you say, not to relitigate, it wasn't that it was a bad movie. It was just kind of a little dull. Yes.
What are you going to do? They can't all work. And we've talked many times on this show. We talked about it with The Fog. Like, it's very hard to come out of an unmitigated success the way the Invisible Man is. It probably would have been an even bigger success had movies been in movie theaters longer, but that's neither here nor there. Everyone who saw Invisible Man, for the most part, came out of that going, whatever he's making next, I want to watch. And I was the same way out of Upgrade, going, whatever this dude makes, this is the best RoboCop remake that is not entitled RoboCop I'm ever going to see. I can't wait to see what he does next. And I think Wan's also on that list. He just always gives you something to hold on to and is really entertaining.
Yeah, they're doing something and they're not making the same movie over and over again. They're trying something.
Yes. I think the other X factor to this in particular is one of my favorite X factors of the past few years, and that is the Akela Cooper of it all. I don't think there's a screenwriter that I'm more invested in lately than Akela Cooper. She came out of TV where she wrote for any number of diverse genre fare. She's on like Luke Cage, but she's also American Horror Story. She did CW's The 100. She wrote on Tron Uprising. She's all over the place. And the first time you see her credited on a movie screenplay is the 2018 slasher Hellfest. Have either of you watched Hellfest?
Yes.
No, I don't think I've seen that one.
I was on Tubi.
Okay.
So I think I watched it there.
So once you get a film on Tubi, part of the fee to get on there is to watch every other horror movie you possibly can.
Yes. Okay. Yes, kind of. Well, it's just that they have such a catalog of movies.
Yes.
So it's that I go through these periods and I'm double checking. And yes, this is the movie I watched. And I know why, because it was around Halloween time and I was doing like, what's the other one from? Is it The Quiet Place? Oh, no, it's the Heretic guys who did the one at the...
Haunt.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I love Haunt. We were supposed to do that like 2 years ago, and then I got a different idea. But I think Haunt is absolutely killer.
And it does a thing, and I know we're not talking about it, but it does a thing at the end that I really appreciate. And I get annoyed when other movies don't do.
Yes, it leaves you satisfied.
Yes. But so I watched that and I was just kind of in a mood for more in that vein. Mm-hmm. And so Hellfest popped up as this is probably the kind of thing you're looking for.
And I can't put my bona fides behind it because honestly, I did not know that she was a credited screenwriter on this. The screenwriter on this, whose name I did know, was Blair Butler, who at one point in time was a on-air G4 correspondent, and then obviously transitioned into screenwriter work. She's credited on 2019's Polaroid, 2022's fun but inconsequential The Invitation, and this year's Until Dawn, which I still want to see. I don't know if any of these rise to the level of Akela Cooper's other work. That being said, that combination still sounds fun to me. So I can't guarantee anything. But what I like about Akela Cooper's output so far is that it's always unexpected and always does more with what you think's going to happen than you thought going into it. And nothing more, sort of magnifies that than Megan, the original Megan, which should not work. And now that other people have taken it over and done a sequel that apparently no one won. How was it?
It's fun. It's fun. I enjoyed it. I think because I'd read so many bad reviews, I went in expecting something worse than it was. That being said, does it still kind of play into a couple of tropes that I am not here for? Like, man in a wheelchair can magically walk again, or Middle Eastern baddies at the beginning.
Oh Lord.
Do I like those tropes? No, those I find very problematic, and I think they're really easy not to do. Our bad guys at the beginning, I don't know, they could have been Russian. They could have been from some random country of like white people speaking some vaguely Scandinavian language,
Right.
And I would buy that. I don't care. It's a movie about a doll. So.
Yeah. I just, and that's the thing. Like, I think she found a way to make that interesting and fun in an unexpected way on the page. And they were able to translate that to the screen. And Malignant is another one of those that feels the same way. Like, she just kind of seems to get it. And I really like what she does with material. Like, The Nun 2 does a lot with a little.
Yes.
Like, I don't know that I love the story, but you can tell that the tone, I was there for the tone. It's doing a lot of things I like. And I guess that's like a Doberman thing. The Doberman element of it, I think, is what puts a layer between me and the horror. And I don't really want that. Wan seems to be able to take these wild swings and still connect you to the human story that thrills you or scares you. He just is able to make that connection that I think some people can feign at and achieve on occasion, but aren't as consistent as he is at it. So in essence, when you combine these two elements together, while Malignant isn't entirely an Akela Cooper joint, there's a few people working on it. She was in on it to the point where she had a story credit. And Wan just kind of wanted to do this. How do I tell this kind of tale in a different way? How do I do serial killer and giallo and still get in all the wild choreography and blocking camera blocking moves that I did within an Insidious into something that even has action elements? It's like he had been certainly with Furious 7, a movie that took forever to make because one of the leads died. So how do you recover from that standpoint? And how he made that into a movie that people is so beloved as it is, I think is a credit to his ability. But those are also like gold handcuffs. You want to be attached to the Fast and Furious franchise for the rest of your life. You'll always be working, but you'll always be working with a guy who's contractually obligated to win every fight. That's a tough row to hoe. So I think he came into Malignant, and this is filming in 2019, even well before lockdown. That's why there's so many people in various scenes. And he's able to make this very muscular motion picture that's still personal, that's still quirky and weird, and does kind of all these things all at the same time. And then you also, in a world which is sort of bereft of horror icons, I feel like Akela Cooper was able to sort of draft two of them. And I don't think that Gabriel gets the love that he should.
Well, I think it suffers from her,
the collective they.
Yeah, they mostly suffer from when they were released.
Yeah.
You know, I think that, you know, do I think this would have done particularly well in the theater? Probably not. I mean, it did not have, you know, a lot of, you know, name actors attached to it, but I think this would have found it would have gotten its footing once it made the jump from the theater to streaming rather than just being dumped onto streaming.
True.
But I also think this would be a really fun watch in a theater, like a late night, you know, at a Terror Tuesday or a Weird Wednesday at an Alamo Drafthouse kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, you could even do like a run of like, you know, killer twin movies.
Absolutely. Pair this together with Sisters. Like, make this happen. I
mean, you know, Sisters does have, you know, it's a conjoined twin twist.
Yes.
You know, only they're not still one's not still attached to the other one.
Yeah.
Without the other one's knowledge somehow.
The turn this takes where the Bilal does not have to be carried around. It's there the entire time. And none of this would have been happened if her dumbass partner hadn't slammed her into the fucking wall. And it just lays bare the whole, this sort of abuse is sort of cyclical. It's always coming back to that. She seems to want to make all the best choices and make moves that get her out of this loop, but she can't until she faces what's looming behind her, Gina. Hello! Hello.
Yeah, it's definitely a metaphor for moving on from abuse and trauma. The idea that, you know, you can't forget it. You can't get rid of it, but you can face it and acknowledge that it's always there. And then you can actually move on because you know it's there and you know how to move forward versus just ignoring it and putting it literally in the back of your head.
Right. It's hard to face something when you can't actually face it.
Well, I guess she has to. It's like when you get a haircut, you have to, and they turn you around and put one mirror up behind your head and one in front of you.
You have to beam it from one mirror to the other, like the ending of the Four Crowns 3D movie that we got. Oh my God, that's the worst goddamn reference. There's 3 people who understand what that is.
I mean, I don't think
the legend also has that making multiple mirrors hit sunlight and kill a devil. So, all right.
Or also trap a soul who alternates between realms.
Sure.
Alternates is not the word.
Why not?
I also don't think any movie has ever scared me about pregnancy more than this one.
Yes. I mean, yeah. But it's also like, this is a weird thing because people just don't discuss, you know, when this is like a 1 in 4 thing with a miscarriage. It's something that we've experienced. I have personal experience with, and sometimes nothing plugs in, and it is a rainbow of emotions. And ultimately, you know, while disappointing many, many times, it's actually, you know, a sign that, hey, this was not going to work. It's better it happened now than happen later. But that is very brief and unwelcome comfort at the time. And so this sort of outsized entity that is not only just haunting your own body, but betraying your ability to move on is very resonant. It's very creepy. And I feel like this is the kind of layer that other people would have simply avoided. And this movie invests in the characters to say that this is happening and this is affecting Madison, and that, you know, it's a real thing that she wants to achieve, and something won't let it happen. And that something also has been reawakened, sees through a part in her hair, and walks backwards to kill people. Like fucking what?
And it's her parasitic twin.
Like I said, when you put it that way, it sounds stupid.
This is the beauty of stupidity. It can be real too. We live in stupid times. And
oh yeah. Oh, I'm not saying stupid like you devalue the movie. I mean, it is incredible that despite this absolutely absurd plot twist, that it makes no sense, nor do they try to make it make sense. God bless them.
It's not in the sense making business.
Yeah, still makes for an eminently watchable and highly enjoyable movie.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say it makes perfect sense because they don't care. They just say, just go with it. Just go along with the ride. And you won't, whatever.
It's like, conjoined twin. Never knew it was there.
Why not?
Have either of you been on the Seattle Underground tour?
No.
I have. Not only been on the Seattle one, I believe I've also been on the Portland Underground tour.
Does there think something about conjoined twins there?
No. It's just it's part of this movie. It's a lot of old timey props. I love chintzy tours. And there's just something about low rent tours that makes me appreciate my background in theme parks. And the fact that it makes an entire chase scene out of an underground tour in this movie, to the point at one point, Gabriel run crawls like the extra alien. And I
love it. I love it. I love how Gabriel moves.
Yes.
It's so unique. It's not like anything else. Yet I can see all the influences are absolutely there. I can see where The Thing comes into it, an extra comes into it, and Basket Case comes into it. But it remixes all of those elements into something that can only be Gabriel. And I'm so invested with how it turned out. It's just so decidedly odd and weird. And yet he can make that chase scene fucking work. Mm-hmm. And I care for these people. Who in this cast had you ever seen before? I'm sure I've seen these people.
Annabelle Wallace.
So where does she come from?
She's British. I think she's on TV. She's in Annabelle.
Okay.
The first Annabelle
With the
movie.
first one? Oh, no wonder I don't recognize
She's the mom she's a blonde. If you can't tell from that bad wig.
When you've got a conjoined twin growing out of the back of your head, your actual head hair probably isn't going to cover it.
She can't go to a salon. She has another guy living back there.
She should have this. Actually, in all reality, she should have this giant beehive wig.
That's true. But yeah, she's in the first Annabelle movie, and then I know I've seen her in other things. That's the thing that comes to mind. Mm-hmm. She's in a movie that my fiance insists does not exist. Tag.
Good. Oh,
okay.
Yeah, that is a movie that doesn't exist. I agree with you.
When it was coming out, when actors were doing press for it, he was convinced that he just thought it was a movie they made up because they had nothing to promote. So they were all going on and being like, "Yeah, we have this movie Tag." It wasn't until somewhat recently that it came up, and I was like, no, that's a real movie. And he goes, no, it was it's a fake project that they had nothing to promote. So, and the shows were just booking them like, we don't have anyone else to come promote something fake.
It has so many actors in it that no one person could be held responsible for the end result. So it probably worked out in everyone's favor.
Oh, she's in X-Men. Oh, she's a co-ed in X-Men First Class. Okay. Oh,
we all remember our favorite characters from First Class, the co-eds from that one scene at that one place.
Oh my God. She's in The Tudors. Okay. That would be what I would have first seen her in. She played Jane Seymour in The Tudors.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah, she's a co-ed in X-Men.
Well, we all got to start somewhere.
But that's the only actress I knew from this.
Like Detective Shaw. Like there's a guy with a good looking face. Like I see him like, hey, this guy looks good, but where's he been since? This is also a guy British. Who I should be seeing everywhere.
He is I have a horror script that I really want to make, and he is who the director and I are like, this is who we want. We want this guy. He's in The Strangers now.
Oh, good news, everyone. He's in The Strangers Chapter 1, a movie that's definitely not cursed.
Yeah, he's in that. He's also British.
Okay.
Actually, my most recognizable actor to me was Zoe Bell. who played,
of course, yes.
Who I did not realize, like, I don't know if her character's name is mentioned, but she is credited as Scorpion.
She's credited as Scorpion.
Oh, you know what? There's also McKenna Grace, who plays young Madison. She's been everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah, if you need a haunted preteen, she was your gal for a
She
little
was your
while.
go-to. She was number one on the haunted tween call list.
Yes, and now she is no longer playing the younger version of everybody.
Right, she's finally her own age. Didn't she end up in the newer Ghostbusters? Is that?
I think she's in the new Hunger Games things.
Oh, well, good for her. Everyone needs a new Hunger Games thing. You know, it speaks to, I think, the strength of the film where, in many respects, why I feel like The Frighteners was going for was you don't have to be invested in these people's actors before seeing them in this motion picture. You'll be invested in the characters. They can embody those characters. And there's not really I don't recall a ton of false notes. Again, I watched this movie to, take all these notes on, and I just found myself just watching the movie, having a grand old time, laughing, slapping my thigh, the laptop probably turning itself off next to me because I was having too good a fucking time watching this movie.
Yeah, Annabelle Wallis. I remember mentioning this in my review, but she does a good scared face.
Yes,
she's got like these big eyes that are just like what, like saucers, whenever anything frightening happens.
It's a much better performance than in Annabelle 1, but then again, Annabelle 1 is really, really bad. So
Annabelle,
it's not her fault that that's so bad.
It's no one's fault.
Annabelle's the one that takes place, is like the one that establishes everything, right?
Yeah, well, kind of, because 2 is the one that goes back in time and actually is the origin.
Oh, see, that's the one. There was one of I can't remember which one it was, but all I remember is that the scariest part was watching someone use a sewing machine and not watching what they're doing while they're sewing, and that to me was like that.
That is the first Annabelle movie.
Okay, yeah, I was at the edge of my seat during that scene. Absolutely nothing else.
Yeah, it's so. There's nothing to it,
There's nothing there.
No.
I just remember watching it and going, "Oh, I know where that is in Pasadena. I know where that is in Pasadena. I know where that is in Pasadena." It's like watching, the same thing happens when I'm watching Shrinking, but I'm laughing the entire time I'm doing that. That's giving me entertainment value. Yes, I know every single place they film, but that's not the only thing I came away with. Like that Annabelle movie is on a level that is so rare that it wastes Alfre Woodard.
Yes, it does.
An actress really I've never seen wasted before, and yet it found a way.
And it's also boring. Like it's just there's no
it's like unforgivably boring.
There's just no like pulse to it, it's sleepwalking through itself.
Whereas Creation, the sequel prequel,
yes,
I feel like I was like, I have zero investment in this doing anything for me, and it's like, oh, this is working. Oh, yep. I like that character. Oh, that's a good set piece. I'm like, whoever did that, I'm going to watch their next movie. And lo and behold, it turned out to be a person whose movies I'd want to watch.
Yeah, it was the second Annabelle. It's definitely the best of the Annabelle movies.
Yeah. Yeah. Sandberg, I think he did a really good job with that. But we're not talking about Annabelle's plural. We're talking, I think, about Malignant. A movie that I really feel does such a good job of carrying you along. And as you mentioned, Gina, there are so many weird, odd, it just moves that you don't see coming because why would anyone go in that direction? And it seems to make it work. It's one of those haunted mansion rides. Listen, I'm not determining where I go in Haunted Mansion. I could say I'd rather go down that hallway. I'm not going to get to. The ride takes me where I need to go. And that's what this movie does at every single turn. And then just when you think this can't get any wilder because you've already seen a bunch of foot chases. You've traveled through the ceiling of a house over and over again. You're having wild visions that are straight out of the eyes of Laura Mars. And then on top of it, they put her in a drunk tank, and then Gabriel is a melee fighter. Now, many people have heard my rants.
That drunk tape scene.
Oh my God.
Is one for the fucking ages.
Why are those women all from the 1970s, like a 70s exploitation?
Oh my God! There's like a Foxy Brown there.
Yeah.
There's like
But also,
They are all out of Switchblade Sisters. They are all out of what is it? It's not Mean Streets.
it's like the lesbian prison exploitation movies.
For sure, yes.
And
yeah, though that scene, like I was practically jumping up and down during that scene.
It's hilarious, but it makes no sense.
It's like he's like her conjoined twin turns into like the Tasmanian devil.
And it's also like, wait, if this woman's as dangerous and as much of a serial killer as they think she is, why are they putting her in that and not
just put her right in a gen pop?
It's like, shouldn't she be in a padded cell at that point?
No, I think they're like
she turned her husband. Well, he turned her husband into like a pretzel.
Yep.
And you're like, he's fine. Just put her in there for a little.
It's okay. Just put her with a bunch of women who time traveled from 1970 in a lesbian prison exploitation flick. It's totally fine. Nothing's going to go wrong.
Nothing can possibly go wrong with these side characters from 1984's Savage Streets. Been all locked up together, and yet it's that this is the point though in the movie theater that I think anyone who wasn't won over would have suddenly come over to the movie's side. And I just think this sequence is fucking undeniable. It's just one of the best horror action sequences I've ever seen in my life. And that's worth something. It's something that a lot of people try and they don't fucking succeed in. You know, we talked about on the show that second of the Halloween recent trilogy, where all of a sudden Michael Myers is a fucking melee fighter. He just can take on 8 to 9 guys at a time. And you're like, but why? Is that something that Michael Myers is known to do?
No.
He sneaks around and stabs people.
Yeah. He does not at any point exhibit Bruce Lee like fighting skills. And yet all of a sudden his hands move like water and it's Mortal Kombat or some shit. And that's fine. Like, it's not the worst, but it is weird to all of a sudden, just when he got a little bit toasty, he's like, you know what I need to do? I need to take on a bunch of firefighters at the same time. You're like, okay, well, that was a sequence. We're certainly not going to go back to that. And at the end of the movie, one lady grabs an iron by its plug and is like, the fuck are we doing here? We're like, wait, when did this become Kill Bill?
Why are you coming at Michael Myers with a morning star? You're improvising.
Just throw all the rules out. Just change them.
Yes. And it's not to say that I wasn't like, okay, that's fine. I certainly didn't see that coming. So you're giving me something new. It's just, it didn't work for me there. And here, there is no pre-existing ideas of how Gabriel is supposed to act. Even if I told you what Gabriel is dry, you wouldn't go, definitely a melee fighter who can take on a bunch of angry lady prisoners who are looking to shank his ass.
And then approximately 21 cops.
Yes, and then bust the fuck out of a bunch of cops who cannot seem to shoot straight and take a bunch of books and printers and heavy materials to the face. The face.
Oh, yeah, he's bulletproof and strong somehow.
Yes. Her spine is made of adamantium. Well, here's the thing. I think the subtle hint here is that our lead character, Madeline Mitchell, has that alliterative comic book name. There is something inherently comic booky, tropey about the origin story here, because how much would you have to turn it to make it kind of Hulk. It's there. It's not that far away from that type of origin story. So all the things that I might sort of nitpick about, like I just did with Michael Myers, like who fucking cares what I think about that dude? It made money. You don't have to apply those filters to this. You can just go along for its weird ass ride.
And there's a definite comic book feel to this movie.
Yes.
But you're right. There's no established lore. Gabriel hasn't been in, 20 movies before that you're like, well, this is what he does. This is how he fights. This is his MO, what he wants. For them to just be like, guess what? He's Steven Seagal.
Well, but also there's an element to this that is, again, akin to Heart Eyes, a movie that we talked about a few weeks ago. And as you watch it, you're not really thinking that's actually the third movie in the franchise. But the way it lays out its backstory is Heart Eyes happened twice before. You just didn't see those movies because they don't exist. But all that shit happened. So you're getting part 3D without any of the baggage of the previous two. You're just going right into it. We don't have to explain what a slasher movie is. You just happen to be in one. Oh, also it's a romantic comedy on top of it. And it does both things successfully. I have to stop blowing up Hard Eyes Spot.
Yeah, I mean, we're not getting paid for that.
We are not.
You're giving them
no.
I mean, you do this for a living. You don't give it up for free.
They don't let me work on movies. They let me work on one movie a year, and then the rest of it's TV. Well, we're not talking about how much I've written for 911 Nashville right now.
How could you? You know what? I'm not even going to make you go into it. I can't even imagine how much there could possibly be written about it.
Never watched that.
Well, it's brand new. It's the part of the franchise. It's coming. You don't know what it is.
Anything in the franchise.
You like 911. You're going to love this. I say to myself. But what 911 is Emergency, the show I watched in reruns constantly on Channel 13 growing up. And it is done with a budget where they can actually have a plane crash into a fucking house. You're like, this is what I wanted to watch. Anyways, I'm not here to hype 911 either. We're talking about Malignant. Stay on topic. But yes, I feel like Madeline is a character you can get behind, who you root for, who you want to see succeed. And you don't want to see harm come to her. You certainly don't want to see harm come to her sister, who's probably one of the best BFF horror characters we've ever had on the show, Gina.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so, yeah.
She's good. She's not a horrible bestie.
No, I think you could play this and you could write it very easily as someone who doesn't care about your constant drama, who's sick of you repeating the same patterns. And these things are mentioned throughout the movie, but they're not harped upon. She doesn't hold it against her. She hopes against hope she can crack open the cycle of trauma and abuse and just find her way out of it. She knows that she can't pull her out, but she is more than willing to help if she feels that that's the direction she's going in. And she's by her side as much as she can throughout the majority of this movie.
And there's also a big age gap between the sisters because I think Maddie's like 11 or 12 years older than her.
Mm-hmm. If not more than a decade, approaching a decade. Because you can definitely feel a generation gap between them in terms of experience. And there's just also the fact that Madeline was in so much hospital care throughout much of her life that she's a sister she knows and a sister that she wants to see succeed, but also there's a distance that she feels she can never crack through.
I think the movie tells us that Maddie was born in 1984 and then her sister was born in 1994 and 1995.
There you go.
Because it's time stamped on the video.
Right. Absolutely right. And another thing that I love about this movie, the opening credits have that VHS feel to it, as you can feel the tracking lines go through the entire credit sequence. it feels very lived in and puts you in a specific place, and you know whatever is behind that door that the doctors and nurses and staff are trying to get through will fuck your shit up. They're legitimately scared. And so when the doctor just yells, it's, time to take this cancer out, you're kind of like, yeah, what are we cheering for again? I don't quite, what the hell's going on? Does anyone know?
Like, well, clearly that won't come to anything later.
Yeah. And then surely this is what they're hunting down, and it's somehow connected to Madeline, but you're not sure really what it is. Oh, they might be psychically connected. Oh, it sure looks like a giallo. Oh, wait a second. She's transported through a mind portal, like she's in the in-between and Insidious. Oh, okay, all right. There's just a lot of things it's playing with that are now very familiar, and it just finds a way to make those familiar elements more dynamic and different.
What we've not mentioned yet is that Gabriel can talk,
right,
but only over radio waves.
Sure,
telephone.
That problem.
Like that's like, why? It doesn't matter.
Who cares?
He talks in a voice that sounds to me a lot like Winslow's electronic voice from Phantom of the Paradise.
From Phantom of the Paradise. Oh my God. Just again, you mentioned this many good movies, right? And you're like, don't remind me of a better movie. But I don't feel that way.
I know, but it takes, obviously the score being a play on Where's My Mind I interpret it as a reference to Fight Club,
sure,
which is, about dual personalities.
Of course, yes.
So this movie knows exactly what it's doing.
Yes.
Well, I think much like Hard Eyes, this is being made by someone who loves the movies that they're referencing.
Oh,
yes.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. And I don't think there's anything worse than getting a genre picture out of somebody who feels like they've been forced into it, or like,
right, who feels like they're above the material. Yeah. I don't feel it. We talk about that a lot,
yes,
particularly with some of the more dire sequels and franchises we've covered. That clearly these are made by people that don't care about the franchise,
like some of those Hellraiser sequels.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Don't care about horror. Definitely don't care about horror fans.
Yes, but
like this is just for all its silliness and implausibility and refusal to explain anything, like the fact that this was made with so much care and love and humor just makes all that so much better.
Yeah. And it really helps that if you're going to make a reference or have an inspiration, that at no point in the movie do you just point at it and go, see dum-dums, you know how you like this thing? I put this thing in this movie, so that means you got to like it. That's not a way to reference inspiration. That it just never, ever works. It has to be part of what you're doing and part of the reason why you decided this is just something I got to put on a big screen on a bright wall surrounded by a bunch of dark walls and hopefully no one on their fucking phone. All the details here there's no elements to really make fun of in terms of like, it is weird on purpose. It is making these logic gaps somehow connect. It never really feels, like someone who's swinging and missing. They're always connecting with the ball they intended to hit.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you have a case for that nothing in this movie makes sense.
Yeah,
that there's no real like again, if you try to think about the plot, so as much plot as there is for more than a minute or so, you're gonna be like, no. But like, it's just everything. The ride is so much fun that you don't even really think about it.
It's one of those movies that feels a lot to me, again, like The Frighteners, which ends up in a day, it's denouement in a big abandoned hospital. This is the same thing. Profondo Russo, Jesus, it went in and out of my head. But another Italian giallo, which ends up in a big abandoned building, and it's a person hunting a killer that they have a psychic connection to. And if you just laid it out on paper, you're like, I don't know that makes a lot of sense. but they're able to make it make sense because it's dream logic. You're in a place where I feel you're almost in a Suspiria level dream logic work here, where I don't have to worry about the nitty gritty details. I just want this person to succeed and I want this killer to stop. And it just keeps giving me these over the top action sequences I didn't expect to have happen. It's a really fun ride.
Yeah.
And they establish it from the beginning. So it's not like, yes, it's got genre and tonal shifts, but the internal logic of the things that are important, those stay the same.
Yeah, I agree. Any other details that we left out that you absolutely have to make sure everyone hears about 2021's Malignant?
I mean, I don't want to give too much away because, like, you really do just have to watch it because it's so. I mean, yeah, if it is pretty gory. So if you're thinking like, maybe I'll give this a try, you just understand as much as it's done with humor, it does get pretty gruesome in some scenes. Yeah. So keep that in mind. But if you were iffy on it, it is a lot of fun.
Yes, I agree. Amanda?
Yeah, I think this is just one of those things. Go in, don't look up the spoilers. Gina's right. If you are not into a very gory movie, it's not for you. And that's fine. But if, like me, you absolutely love a gory gonzo horror movie, have fun. Just go have fun.
I feel like this is one of those movies whose praises have not been sung enough. And I felt, damn, this feels like the right time and the right place. And it is just that little aftermarket Stephen King element to it that felt like this is the right time to do it. This might not have worked as well when we're talking about Evil Dead. It might not have worked as well when we're talking about Scream or Alien, but it absolutely works here because it's a piece of that dark half element where
I mean it's essentially the same story, just in the dark half this separated conjoined twin is completely separated and acting of its own accord.
Yes. And again, it's another in our new list of movies that evoke the hash-slinging slasher.
Yes. That's twice now. Because we did. I Know What You Did last summer.
That's right. So we've got a new subcategory of hash-slinging slashers.
Hash-slinging slasher.
And
just now
there might be more.
SpongeBob in my head saying that.
The hash-slinging, the slash-slinging.
I just wanted a Krabby Patty.
Don't we all? Well, that means that the one thing we need to make sure we sling is choosing our own deathventure. And that's where we decide of the many, many, many deaths.
I was going to say, it'll take about a half hour to read them all off.
If you were to die in one of the ways portrayed in this motion picture and had to choose one of them, which one would it be and why? Up for bid today.
Let's just say there's a lot of stabbings and slashes.
There's a lot of repeats here.
There's the 4 medical personnel at the beginning who we just see dead.
Yeah, we got skull cracked against door at least twice, throat slashed, head smashed against the wall and twisted with the neck snapping and driving the bone through the rest of it. That's a real combo move. We've got crushed skull by Trophy, stabbed in mouth, neck, and throat by Trophy, stabbed to death. All the stabbings just put Trophy in there. Neck ripped open, face slash, impaled through stomach by hand. That's at least different. Skull crushed by foot. That's a real juicy one. Neck snapped. Eyes gouged out by fingers, then shot multiple times in the back. Head cracked open via prison door. Impaled in the back. Throat slash. Stabbed through chest. Shot in the chest by shotgun. Accidentally shot multiple times in the chest by your fellow fucking officer. Yep. Stabbed through the neck by sharpened Trophy. Stabbed through the chin all the way up through the top of your head. Stabbed in the chest. Stabbed through the neck. Throat slit. Stabbed in the stomach. Throat slashed. Wrists ripped open, and of course, death by exploding pacemaker. Yep. And Amanda, as our guest, I choose you to go first.
I mean, I feel like the least painful of these or at least the one that you don't see coming. I'm between two. Either impaled from the back because you don't see it coming.
Right.
So, it's happened. But you could also potentially survive being impaled. Or the shotgun because it's fast.
Sure. Yes. The last thing that goes through you is, hey, and that's it.
Exactly.
You're gone. So that absolutely makes sense. Gina, what say you?
Well, since dying peacefully in my sleep isn't an option, I too am going to take just shotgun to the chest again. In agreement because it's fast.
Yes,
I don't want to be like stabbed with my own compound fractured arm bone. That's horrible.
No, that feels like a lot to get through before you get stabbed with your own arm bone. How I know I'm going to die. Death by exploding pacemaker. How I want to go.
Wait a minute.
I just have a feeling.
Have a
Gina.
pacemaker currently?
No, not yet. You know what? Fingers crossed, Gina. Fingers crossed.
You just see it happening.
It sounds like me.
You're just going to be near you're going to be near somebody, just, heating up a burrito. Poof, time to go.
Time to go. But the way I think I would take the shotgun to the chest because I know the last thing that's going through me is a bunch of pellets and I'm like, bye. And I'm out of there. It feels very short-term pain, long-term dead. And that's the way you want to go. But that just about does it. Folks, you can find us on Patreon for lots of bonus episodes that you don't get on main feed, like Chat by Chat, where we answer your questions, bonus eps, and commentaries. And then, of course, on social media, you can find us in the usual places, with the exception of Twitter. Fuck that place. And you can talk back to us on YouTube, which please subscribe. Even if you don't listen there, we'll take the subscribe. And of course, you can talk back to us on Spotify and rate and review us on iTunes because that helps us be seen and heard by more listeners like you. Amanda, what do you have that's in the offing that you want people to know about?
Yeah, I have a movie called Perfectly Good Moment that is on Tubi and some other places. Go watch it because it's an indie movie. We need more views.
Yeah.
Helpful.
Yes. You could hear me talking about it on White Ladies in Crisis. We all like it very much.
Yeah, actually, I messaged this to Joe the other day, but there's a comment that the three of you made that actually kind of inspired a new script that my co-writer, and I wrote and had a staged reading of last week. Actually, I'm in kind of. We're doing a weird workshop stage of a screenplay called Smoke, Sip, Die, which is about a manosphere podcast that has had a scandal and to move on from a Me Too co-host brings a woman on to replace him, but she has plans for them that are not just yes.
We love plans.
I love it already.
So it's a found footage set in real time horror satire, and because it's an indie thing, we figured let's do what we can even before we hit production or pre-production to drum up interest. So we did a staged reading of it last Tuesday, which it was a pouring rain at 9:30 on a Tuesday night, and we had a pretty full house, amazingly. And we actually were on another podcast earlier today to talk about it and like the process of it. So there's that hopefully we'll keep workshopping and get to move into pre-production soon. And then I have I'm doing a short vampire horror later this year.
Excellent. Gina, where can people find you on these here internets?
I write about movies and television and pop culture. My newsletter, ginawatchesthings.ghost.io.
Excellent. Do it today, people. Check it out. Don't worry. The body count will continue. For myself, for Gina, and Amanda. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.